come on board. I don't care how old you are. If you can get a specific result, that is the end of the conversation. Can you start SMA even if you're young, even if you're a teenager, even if you're 20, 21, 22, 25? What age can you do SMA at? Is there such thing as being too young for SMA? Those are the questions that I'm going to be answering in this video. Those are questions that I get via DMs and on my free Facebook group community. Honestly, I completely understand people asking that question. It's a common question to ask when you're thinking of getting into a financial vehicles, because quite frankly, there are financial vehicles out there for which you actually need a specific age, right? You may be deemed as too young, or quite simply, the dynamics are not gonna quite work in your favor if you're too young. And so there are cases in which age is important, and really the answer to the questions is, age is really not important in SMA. Age is not a determinant of the success you can have with SMMA. In fact, what I often say is that it can be an advantage if you frame it properly. Basically, what I'm saying is you have to flip the script. And so if, for example, let's just, in the hypothetical case where a client actually says, hey, I think you're too young for this. Bear in mind, that has never happened to me. And I started my agency when I was, I think, 18, going into 19, and they never asked about my age. But if they do ask, just flip the script, flip the dynamic. Basically tell them, hey, yes, that actually gives me a ton of advantage over 30, 40-year-olds who just don't understand the landscape of social media. Because quite frankly, I've been raised with these platforms. I've had a phone in my hand literally since I was 3 or 4 or 5. Literally, you can tell them that, right? You just understand the context of the platforms like no one else. Your generation literally understands social media like no other generation. You understand how to navigate it much better than a 30, 40-year-old could do. And the time that they're gonna take to understand the new trends, to understand the new social media platforms, you already have that knowledge. You're ready to go and you're ready to get them results. Not only that, when it comes to understanding consumer behavior, which is massive for businesses, this is really what business boils down to. If you can speak the language of your audience, and especially if you have a client who's selling to primarily Gen Z generation, you've got a massive edge. You just understand the context of the generation. You know what that generation is moved by, you know what triggers emotionally that generation, how to tap into their pain points, what they really value. You understand that generation like no other millennial or boomer would actually be able to understand that generation, right? That's kind of the way I want you guys to think about it. Just completely flip the script, right? And that might actually give you an advantage when they see that confidence oozing off of you and really see that you've been brought up with social media, you've been brought up, in these platforms, you use these platforms on a daily basis. That gives you a massive, massive advantage. And when it comes to social media marketing, that is just blissful for you, because that is literally the thing you do every single day. Now you just have to monetize it. Now you just have to sell it to clients and make them understand the value of it. That is the way I want you guys to think about it. Completely flip the dynamic. The second thing that I will say, and obviously this will come with more time, but they will never ask that question as you get more mature, as you get more confident. And the reason why that is because you don't have to validate yourself to them if they don't really see cracks in your character. That is a lot more nuanced to take in, but basically, if they don't see a reason why they should doubt or why they should question your age, especially by hearing you speak, just the confidence that you speak in, just the expertise that you convey, they will never ask your age if they know you can get them results, right? They will ask your age when you're just starting out, simply because you don't really have that confidence, you don't really have as much expertise as you will have, 6 months down the road. But when they see that you can get them a specific result, business owners don't care. I'll give you guys an example. In my case, for example, if a 10-year-old, if a 12-year-old came up to me and told me, hey, I'd love to work in your company, and I think you are leaving money on the table in this and this area, and I think I could do a killer job. Here's what I've done in the past, and here are the strategies that we'd follow, a specific clear plan of attack, I'd be like, come on board. I don't care how old you are. If you can get a specific result, that is the end of the conversation. Final thing that I will say is you can let a bunch of things really stop you, right? Limit you. There's always excuses, right? There's always a bunch of limitations that you could place on yourself. There's a ton, not even age. Like, there's honestly much better excuses than age, quite frankly. You can either let that define you, you can either let that limit you and let that put a wall around you and not get into SMA, or you can use that and really figure out how you can get around that, right? Because what you guys have to understand is when you set your mind on a goal, on an objective, your mind, your you know, whatever you want to call it, your infinite intelligence, the universe, you know, God, whatever it is, right? Me, I call it God. You just find a way to accomplish that. And when you are approaching SMMA, when you're approaching building a business through a lens of, and asking these questions like, well, you know, can I do this at this age? Can I do this at that age? That's already finding limits. That's already finding excuses that can actually detract you from achieving the goal. So it's really a mindset shift that you guys have to put in place and actually start asking the right questions. Ask questions that empower you. Don't ask questions that make your mind go to places where it actually slows you down, where it actually detracts from your energy and puts limits on yourself. So that is my 3-part answer to this question about age and whether you can get into SMMA even if you're young, even if you're a teenager, wherever age you are. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like. It will help sort of ton with the algorithm, and it tells me that you like these videos and tells me to make a lot more. Also, drop down below in the comments any questions you may have, and I'll be checking those out. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I've got so much content coming out with a specific focus on sales, outreach, but really a 360 approach to SMMA, you know, building a business, entrepreneurship, and I genuinely think you guys are absolutely gonna love the content that I've got coming next. And so definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, guys, I'm documenting my behind the scenes, my day as an entrepreneur, and you know, actually doing what I preach, running my agency, and I give you an inside look into me speaking to prospects, me signing clients on meetings, me speaking to my team members, all this stuff that that's actually, you know, incredibly valuable. I drop value bombs as well, you know, during my stories. So definitely check out my Instagram. That is my username. And lastly, guys, if you haven't checked out my free Facebook group community, the Client Closers, it's honestly an incredible community. I've capped it at 100 people to keep it just tight and sweet. It's honestly an incredible community full of like-minded people looking to scale their agency and level up in life. If you want to join that, go ahead and check out the link in bio. And as always, guys, hope everything's going well in your agency journey, and I will speak to you in the next one. Peace. Okay, cool.